There's 12 causes of project failure, and number 4 is poor scheduling. Most schedules don't work because they're built with CPM, critical path management, which is just a crock.
Going through the tree.
It ignores reality like limited crews, real world constraints, and the need for flow. The results are the schedule can be manipulated to make it look like the project's on track until all of a sudden you've burned all your float and then all hell breaks loose. To build a schedule that works, you need critical chain to manage the constraints and critical flow to protect the rhythm of the job. That's how you avoid the crash landing and actually finish on time. Yesterday, your schedule said green, but it's been running on float. There's an issue with that. And that is the float only tells you the truth once it's all gone. And at that point, she's all over bar the shouting. It is all too late. There's a new breed of construction superintendent, construction manager, project manager, called 3.0. Just saw this on a post by Jason Schroeder. Actually, I'll link to it in the comments below. It's aimed at superintendents, but it works for everyone. From supervisor, even the guys in the field, right the way up. They understand that float is fool's gold. What you got to do is protect your buffer. A lot of people are going to say there's no difference between buffer and float, Beanie. I'm going to show you exactly why a lot of people have no clue what they're talking about right now. So let's get into it. If I can get the technology right. Okay, I don't know why Beanie's cranky there. It's not like Beanie to be cranky on a construction site, but there we go. That's what the AI has produced for us. Think of it this way, right? I used to have an old construction manager that I worked with. And every time we asked for something or we'd ask for, well, I remember this one day in particular, we went up and asked for, I can't remember what it was, right? I can see sitting in his office right there. Oh, Willie is in the box seat, as you can see him, and the back-to-back that I was working with, Hainsey. And he goes, why have you guys asked for X number of these? And we're like, if we didn't think we needed them, why would we ask for them? And he goes, oh, well, he used to shout at us a fair bit. It was all good fun. He goes, I know what you pair of you-know-whats are like. He goes, someone will come up to you and go, we need 3 pink elephants. And you two will go, well, let's just get half a dozen of them, we'll use them somewhere. You know what? I hate to admit it, but he was actually right. Float. Think of float, or if you walked up to your superintendent and said, I'm going to give you a bag of cash to use during this job. Here's $1 million. Use it however you want. That superintendent would burn through that cash as quickly as possible. That's float. If you went up to him and gave him the same bag of cash, said, here's $1 million, only use it where we're in trouble, when we're behind. Save it until we absolutely need it. That's buffer. Buffer goes on the back end when you're getting behind to give you that time, catch your breath, let everyone get their head above water, refocus, get the thing back on track early in the piece. Float just lies to you until you're so far out of whack that there is no hope of ever recovering. That's the difference between buffer and float. It's that safety margin. Float lets people spend it before they should be actually using it, instead of saving it until it's really required. Same money, same schedule, different outcome. One tells you the truth, which is your buffer on the back end, because your buffer we're working in week blocks with tact. We should be at this point on this week. Trouble is, when you're running on float and you're using CPM. She'll be right. We'll pick it up. It's all good. It's not that big a deal. We've got 100 different excuses why she'll be right. Then we get to the end, and 100 excuses of she'll be right have compounded to the point where she's not going to be fucking right anymore. You're in a world of hurt. Buffer and tact doesn't ever let you get to that point. As soon as you start to drift, it says, hey, you're going off track here. You need to pull this thing back online. Buffer's only spent when the job actually needs it. That's what happened with your schedule. The float was gone weeks before your end date moved, because she'll be right. We'll catch it up. It's all good. We know what we're doing. We've been doing this for 100 years. We've been delivering projects late for 100 years is what we're doing. Float burns silently. Your late deliveries, we'll catch it up next week. Your report's still saying green. Don't panic the execs. Don't tell them the truth. They'll be on my back. They'll be ringing me every 5 minutes. Once the float's gone, your date starts moving. Everyone acts surprised. I don't know what happened. We were tracking so well. All right. This is how you cross from float to buffer. We use a tool called ORCA, something that fighter pilots use. We know what our objective is every single day. What's the thing that we need to get done today to get us to make sure that we deliver inside that next tact period? What results did we get yesterday? Were they good, or were we off course somewhere? What caused those results? What actions do we need to take today? Not go, oh, we've got plenty of float, don't worry about it. What actions do we need to take today to course correct? Extremely powerful process. Float lies, buffer tells you the truth. You're coming off the rails. You're coming off track. Critical change plus protected buffer equals the truth before it costs you and your project. You protect the reserve, not the float. That's what we do in the floodlit workshop, which I'll show you. There's a little clip right at the end that'll tell you all about that if you want to learn more. I'll show you how I use Claude in a minute, particularly how I use Claude and run the ORCA process. But not only do you use Claude to run the ORCA process, I run Claude to run an assessment, a critical eye, across the schedule every single day, give me a report and create a dashboard that tells me the real metrics. It doesn't measure bullshit like float, real metrics of how the project is actually running. All right, if you want to know why this ORCA process is so powerful, I'll let you introduce you to the guy, Christian Burkosis, that I learned it from, and he'll tell you how it's created a culture within the Air Force where their fighter pilots deliver their missions successfully 99.8% of the time.
This is the most powerful tool on earth. As an organization, we helped 3 NFL teams win the Super Bowl by teaching them how to use this method by coaching. It's called debrief, and it's only 4 steps. Intention, expectation, or what we call objective. Reality or results, what we call result. Curiosity, or what we call cause, the cause of this gap in performance. And action, what am I actually going to do about it?
Objective, results, causes, actions. Let's run one right now. Run this inside Claude Code. There's a reason that I use Claude Code, because I get it to create my dashboards. I get it to do all sorts of critical path, a critical chain, critical path. The analysis that I could do with this thing is insane. I spoke to this a number of times. I used to have, on a project that we did back in, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago now. So what's that, 2023, 24, somewhere around there. We had a master scheduler, 3 schedulers updating the schedule every single day. A guy off site who helped us tie, well, he was the cost control manager, okay? Myself and another guy who did the coding to make sure that the dashboards and everything stayed online. 7 people to deliver a live schedule that told you exactly where you were at any given day on the job. Tell a story about how we come 50 hours off of EV one day and the EGM was on the phone, like, what's going on? Why are we 50 hours under? Okay, that's the level of transparency that this creates. This is even better what we're doing now. We'll get that down to 2 now. All I now need is someone that understands this process, knows how to use Claude and run this, and knows how to drive the cultural change required to adopt it, and that cost control person as well. Today's Thinking Time question is a wild card. Whichever one of the 4 Stealth Team Lab questions feels most alive today. We're actually live today, so we're going to skip the Thinking Time question. Let's go straight to the ORCA, please. So I'm using a AI called Whisperflow, W-I-S-P-R Flow. I'll put a link to that in the comments below. If you go and get off my link, I'll get a month and you'll get a free month. So there's a little bit of incentive for you to try it. It does voice to text, but it does it better than any other voice to text stuff that it does. It actually puts context around what I'm saying, and it translates even my rough construction worker language into something usable. Understood. Skipping thinking time. Home day. It asked me that because it knows that I've got other different stuff that I need to prep. If I've got a travel day on, I haven't done one of these for quite some time. Actually, I've been buried in an outage and the energy levels have been too low to be able to do it. Took a weekend off this weekend deliberately to do this because we're coming to the end of the outage now. I've only got a week or so to go. And I'm starting to kick up what I'm doing to find where I'm going next, taking this next. It's worked so well, unbelievably well. Yes, the objective was run a weekly live. Hasn't been done for a few weeks now. So the live is in progress right now. We're actually doing this ORCA is part of the live that I said that I haven't done for a few weeks. Good to get back on the horse, actually. Enjoying doing this after having not done it for so long. Welcome back to another ORCA Live, Sunday, 19th July 2026. Running 14.4 minute debrief. That's 1% of your day. That's all this process takes up. And the audience here is to see exactly how this works. Let's go to step 1. So objective locks in. Run the weekly live, first time in a few weeks. What's the objective for this session? What specifically are you trying to get out of today's live event? That's a really good question. What I want to get out of today's live event is I'm speaking to the Floodlit workshop that's coming up, and I want to give them a demo. This is a taster, right? This is the ORCA part of it that you can do. I'll show you how to do this right now. Then come along to the workshop and see how we run the daily schedule assessment with it. Cut through all the noise and get to the real, what's really going on the project. So I'm guessing the objective is to give people the desire to come along to that workshop. Objective lock, run live demo today as a taster for the Floodlit. Show the process clean enough that people want to come and see the full daily schedule assessment at the workshop. We run what I call the board, where I get 5 different very smart people as agents, AI agents, to run their assessment of the schedule every single day. We do it, once it's set up and running, we can do it in minutes. No more of this, of the PM telling you his story of what's going on the project, or the cost control lead making it up, or everyone trying to hide their little bits and pieces. There's nowhere to hide when you do this. It creates alignment, it creates transparency, and it creates a culture of accurate reporting, and it creates it. very, very fast. Now we've moved to results. This is where they measure the gap between what was planned and what actually happened. What's the result? Has the session actually landed as a taster so far? Are people engaged? That will take a little bit of time. I'm very happy with how the sessions run so far, particularly that I haven't done one of these for quite a while. Changed the style a little bit of the way that I'm delivering, but yeah, at this point in time, we'll find out this week because I've created a list of names that I'm going to send an invite out to, and we're going to start looking to sell these 5 tickets out this week for the Floodlit workshop in August. Let's just do a little bit of thinking if you haven't used Claude before. If you're using another AI and you're not using Claude, have a crack at Claude, seriously. Got it, 2 things in there. A win, session ran well, delivery style shifted since the gap, an outcome that's still pending ticket sales, which you know this week. We can only debrief one result live. Let's lock in the win. You ran the live today after not doing one for weeks. That's the result, a win. A noticeable change in delivery style. Causes where most debriefs never go. We're going to ask why until we find the real reason. Why hadn't a weekly live happened for a few weeks? The reason was because I've been on the outage. The outage has sucked up all of my time and energy, as outages do. We're coming out the back end of the outage now. I actually took a weekend off so that I could get my energy levels back up. And that's allowed me to get to the point, give me the time to prep properly and run this live. That's one why. Let's go one more layer. Why did your outage take everything to the point that the live stopped completely? Because of the hours that I had to put into it, and because the processes of the business that I'm working for are very, very poor. I had to do a lot of work to deliver a great output that I shouldn't have had to do because that process was so poor, and there's been a massive learning curve to get that in place, which drains you. That's the root cause. Poor process at the business meant the outage response 8 disappropriate hours, 0 capacity left for the weekly live commitment. That's an organisational level cause, process, tooling gap, not a personal failure. Locking that as the cause. Actions are the whole point, small, specific. Who does what by when? This is what changes tomorrow. Given that cause, what's one small change for how you protect the weekly live next time an outage hits? I'll dial back the way that I do outages from now on. I'm not going to take another outage on doing 6 days a week. I'm going to do less hours or not do them at all. That's the direction. Now let's take it. Who by what by when? Who's doing what? Let's actually change. Okay, so we've got a new thing in school called the War Room session, which will be a live session inside school that I'm going to run tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. That's a separate item. Let's not lose it, but let's lock today's action first. What cap outage hours instead of 6 days a week? When does that policy start? Is it starting live the very next outage? As soon as this outage is finished. I've got 2 more weeks on this one. That's it. I've already told the people that I'm working for I'm not doing another outage with this ridiculous amount away from home, which I'll be at 12 weeks by the time I'm finished. And I'm not doing the hours that I have done on this one again. One cause, that's the debrief. Is the objective for tomorrow? The objective for tomorrow is to run that war room session inside school. I'll show you something that this does in a second. So it says tap the log sheet. We tap that. I'll have to just swap something here so that you can see it. Need to switch you to Chrome. Right, so see where it says tap the log of win up the top here. If I come back, this is my key dashboard where I track all the metrics that I need to keep myself on track to make sure that I sell 5 tickets for this workshop and start building the stealth team labs. So I'm at day 237 of doing ORCAs. As you can see there, I missed a couple of days, 36 and 35 and 34. Actually, no, I didn't. I missed 34 and I missed 36. I did 35. There must have been a gap there. That's why that's red. I've got 13 days till the end of the month. 22 people active in my school community. No conversations started this week. I start working on that tomorrow for the stealth team labs and the workshop. And down the bottom here, the goal, the Masoga this year was to win the school games. That's the actual, what do you call it, dashboard that runs inside school, or a reflection of it. So everything I need to know, what metrics I need to track, all on this one page here. If I hit the update button now, see that says day 237's green, but 238 has not been logged. Update that now. This is the same thing that we do with Claude inside the Floodlit workshop. Take a whole schedule, feed it into it, get it to run an assessment out of with the 5 people that I use. I use Dr. Eli Goldrat, I use Dr. Alan Bernard, I use Jason Schroeder, I use Christian Burkosis, and there's one other person that I can't think of at the moment to do their assessments on the schedule, all from different perspectives. And then I push all the data to a dashboard that shows me where we've got flow and where we don't. Not worried about float or any of that sort of nonsense. See how that's gone? 238 is green. So day 238 is a good one. It's one of the key metrics that I measure, which is engagement. Anyway, if you want to know more about the Floodlit workshop, here's the video, the trailer. Take it, use it, make it a great week. I'll speak soon. 2,200 hours. That's what the schedule was telling us that we needed to earn that day. What we were earning was around 1,187. The gap was there from day one. Everyone knew it, but nobody was saying anything. If your team's working hard and your project's still drifting, you know exactly what that feels like. The reports and your meetings all say that you're on track, but you can feel that constraint. It's just that nobody has named or acknowledged it. The fix, I wrote a number on the whiteboard every morning, just the earned value, so that it was visible daily. That single act changed the attitude on the site. Project Controls has had this data for decades. It's just never put the right signal in front of the right person. For the problem gets 3 weeks old and becomes bigger than can be managed. Floodlit changes that. You upload your schedule, Claude reads it live, maps your constraint, and identifies what's at risk. It builds a dashboard in front of you, and it can all be done in under 60 minutes. That's exactly what happens in the Floodlit workshop, and you walk out with a system so that you can run it daily. There's only 5 seats, and if you want to know where your project is drifting, message me the words Floodlit, and I'll send you the details so that you can lock in your spot.